Hi everybody, this is Cyrus Hazard with Total Wine & More, and I'm lucky today to be sitting in with Luke Kapcsandy here in your cellar. When I look around, it's a great smattering of wine, but it's definitely Bordeaux influenced. I'm assuming that's really where your love started.
Yes, well, by the way, welcome Cyrus, and thanks for being here. Yeah, Bordeaux is my favorite wine region. It was the very first fine wine that I was introduced to after, I'm happy to say, a graduate of Thunderbird and Ripple days when I was in the military. And in 1964, a friend of mine in San Francisco introduced me to the 1961 Yountville Lascasse. So what a way to get started.
Right, that's an amazing wine.
Yeah.
So you've started collecting then, and now you've amassed this cellar holds, what, 20,000 plus?
The cellar is designed to hold 20,000 bottles. The main cellar, which is where we're sitting, is where we hold the wines that are younger than 1971 vintage. The temperature is kept at 55 degrees. And then we have a cellar within a cellar, a smaller room where we keep the wines that are older than 1971. And the oldest bottling we have in there is 1874 Chateau Lafite, and 1900 1905 Margaux, 1900 Lafite, and 1918 bottles, 1928, and so forth. And we keep the temperature in there about 45 degrees or lower because those wines do not need to age anymore, they need to be preserved. Everything here that people don't realize, but if we were to look at this particular slot, it actually holds 2 bottles back to back. That's why we're able to stack in all these 20,000 bottles. We are currently probably holding around 17,500. I was never a collector, don't think about myself as a collector. Even the 61 Yountville Lascasse, I purchased 4 cases of the wine. That was the very first bottle of wine that I bought of any fine wine. So you can imagine the story of my life is I just purchased more wine than I could ever consume. And at one point, we actually had a total bottle count of 26,000 bottles.
Wow.
And we have sold off, 7,500 bottles in various auctions and contributed wines to various charitable functions.
So still 17,000 bottles will put you in the range of drinking a bottle a day for 20 years? 10 years, something like that?
If I'm blessed to be around that long, I suppose, but longer than that. But my son is into fine wines himself, of course. Why wouldn't he be? He never tasted a bad bottle of wine in his life. He developed his palate in the best Bordeaux wines, and I'm not a big follower of any particular ratings or classifications. I basically taste wines, and if I like them, then I'll pursue them and purchase them. The only the bottle of wine I bought blind was the 61 Yountville Lascasse.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah, well, interesting enough, my family, my wife and I are very, very close friends of Michel Delon, who is the patriarch of Yountville Lascasse. He's the one that actually encouraged us and helped us to get into the import business. And every year that we would visit Bordeaux, he would insist that we come up to Saint-Julien and have a lunch. And his lunch generally would last about 5 hours. And he would go into his cellars and pull up any vintage from time to time at lunch that was just absolutely stunning.
Wow. It's lucky.
Yeah, and we're maintaining our friendship with his son now because Michel passed away. So Jean Hubert, his son, and his family and my family are continuing to be good friends. I'm not particular about either just, Cabernet Sauvignon driven wines from the left bank or Merlot from the right bank. It's just whatever I kind of like.
And that's really what it should be about. It's not about scores, it's about your taste and that experience over time, understanding what mature wine tastes like versus young wine and being able to see whether they're going to go a distance of time. Where did you learn to do that?
Again, it started basically back with the 61 Yountville Lascasse, but I've been buying Vega Sicilia for a long, long time. Probably the first purchase I made was 1970 vintage.
So you spent a lot of time in the Seattle area, and that's When walking around, I see a lot of Kilseda Creek, and I see some very, very old wines I've never seen, Chateau Ste. Michelle and stuff that are just, it's really surprising to see older bottles from them. How did you collect those?
Well, we moved to Seattle in 1974 and left in 2003, so I became familiar with Alex Galitzin wines from Kilseda Creek early on when he started. In fact, I knew him as a chemical engineer when he was at Scott Paper in Everett, Washington, and we used to do some business together. And I like the wines. I think they're well crafted. They do age very well, so we enjoy them.
And you have on the lineup here, you have a lineup of fallen soldiers, as I call it, the bottles that you've consumed that are from very unique older vintages. How do you decide when to open that? Is there like an everyday wine and then a barometer that allows you, says, all right, well, now it's time to drink something from out of the lockbox that's even deeper, 45 degrees?
No, my encouragement for that is my son. He'll come over and he'll say, hey, Dad, whether it's his birthday or my wife's birthday or anniversaries or just even a nice holiday, 4th of July. I mean, I'm blessed with freedom in this country, and hopefully that will continue. We just opened just a nice bottle of wine, the old vintage, and just say celebrate. And nothing is sacred. Any bottles we can open anytime we want. He can open them anytime he wants. The main thing is that I want him to enjoy it with me. I don't want him to take the bottle and take it home with him.
He can't take it, he has to share it with you. Right. That's a good motto. That's a great motto. Well, thank you, Lou, for your time. I appreciate you showing me around the winery and sharing your cellar with us.
Well, thanks for being here.